flipping ain't easy by your side.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. This is John and Jenna with Flippin' Ain't Easy.
How come the camera is so low?
Oh, I can raise it.
Do you see it seeing the screen?
I know it's seeing the screen. Oh.
Alrighty.
I'm sorry, guys.
Welcome to the shit show.
Yeah. Well, it's only because, see, it's always when Jenna says something, and I'm trying to make her happy when this stuff happens. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to just do it like that. It kind of feels like different, but it is a different camera that we're using. So hopefully you guys can see us well and hear us okay. So, how was your weekend in sales? And I asked that a lot, but I asked that because it's kind of a weird question for us. But it's the topic of this video and why I'm a firm believer in every reseller who's having some kind of a lull and you can't really explain. Now we can talk about the economy and stuff all we want, but at the end of the day, I'm going to turn this up on for you. But at the end of the day, we're dealing with weird sales activity for us. And sometimes, I think James, I don't know, making a noise. You guys can hear that? I could turn it off. You're bothered by it. Do you want me to turn it off?
No, I'm not bothered. I just need
I'm trying to finish a thought here,
Okay.
and you're like not helping me.
Finish your
so it's
thought.
like squirrel.
Finish your thought.
Okay, so at the end of the day, people that are really paying attention to their sales and focus on their stats and are in tune with what they're doing can tell when they're listed good stuff, which I've been listing good stuff, have weird sales lately. I'm talking like this last week, just weird, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here right now. But I just thought, it's I'm trying to get to it real quick so I can show you. I thought I had it on that screen before we started. It's just a weird activity, a weird pattern where I didn't really get many sales at all on Friday. Let me go to that screen right here.
There's no pattern. It's
so
just...
Friday 151, and then nothing on Saturday. Now, mind you, I didn't leave, didn't go anywhere. I was here working, and then Sunday. Now you can't tell, but Sunday it was pretty good, right? 410.81. What if I told you that I did not have any activity at all in the morning and the early afternoon? And it was then I decided, you know what? This is weird. I've never been shut out on both a Saturday and Sunday. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to just do a nuclear reset. I did an end item sell similar on everything in my main store. And bam, it just like within a half an hour, it started. And it kept going. Now that's pretty decent for less than half a day of sales. And then look at this, Monday, $658 in sales today. So look, I'm not here to make you guys wear a tinfoil hat. I'm here to share with you my experiences and my thoughts on what's happening with my store when they happen. I have seen, this is like 3 or 4 years ago, and I made a video on this where I had this very account was getting no sales and no views at all. No views. And I called eBay because this is the time when you could call eBay and get them to do a reset. It was a thing back then. It was like kind of a popular thing until too many people called eBay and they put an end to it. Well, now, back then, let me finish the story back then before I go into now. I had them look into it and they said, well, this is something wrong in the back end of with your account. There's nothing wrong at all other than maybe how your listings are cataloged, and we need to push this to the back office and they will look into it. So this went on for like 3 days, and finally, boom. Now this is before the end item sell similar thing was a thing. They did something, they flipped a switch or whatever, and my sales came back. So it tells me that it's quite possible, just from that experience, that your listings can maybe have an on switch one day, and then like your whole store goes dead for no reason, and it could be a cataloging issue. Fast forward it to when I was suspended about 2 years ago, and it was a 3-day suspension. I got them to correct it because it wasn't a suspension. It shouldn't have been a suspension, but they suspended me. So after a day of fighting eBay, they finally reversed it, and I was sitting there for hours, no sales. Well, of course, you're just coming off a suspension. eBay's not going to give you the same level of traffic right away. They're going to kind of wean you back on. But I said, forget this. I did a nuclear reset, and immediately I started getting sales. So when these kind of things happen, I look to not do it quickly. You're going to have days where you get shut out. That's organic. But when it bleeds into a second day, and Sunday is usually our busiest day, you know what? My 260 listings, it's time to do it. And that's what we did. And bam. So want to know what you guys think. I could tell you, though, that I've seen this happen too many times. And just because you out there haven't seen it for yourself doesn't mean it's not a thing. You and you and you. But I want to go into what we normally do and show you where are we at with our sales.
Sorry, I am jumping ahead, but Devon just said, I know all of you will be so jealous. One sale this weekend.
So let's take a look real quick.
I'm sorry that it was funny, but it was funny the way you said it.
So January 1 through April 28th, so the first 4 months of 25, we're at 41,376 in sales. Now that's sales, that's not profit. Profit's probably somewhere a little less than half of that. Quantity sold, 554 items, so that's down 8.9%. ASP, average sale price, at $74.69. Looks like it's creeping up, but it's at 18.4%. So the moral of the story is we've made almost 8% more than we did last year, and we're doing it with higher priced items and at a lower volume. So almost 10% fewer packages are being shipped out. Now that's the main account. The secondary account.
Yeah, that's a garbage.
Well, yeah, but still, I mean, that's a secondary account. So almost $10,000, an additional $2,500 in sales a month to start the year. Don't really go by this because the first half of the year we weren't really doing a whole lot. But what I'm saying is between the 500 items and the 385 items in the last 90 days, we're at almost 900 items that we're shipping out in a 3-month period. And this one, as you can see, is a lower ASP. That's kind of by design. A lot lower than what it was, I guess, before. But it's where we put all the things that I don't want to list on the main account. So that's what we have going on there. So how are your sales? Are you doing worse than last year, better than last year? Are you finding that you're dealing with a lull of sales for no reason, like getting shut out? And are you going to, and I think this is a mistake, if you sit back and wait for things to correct themselves, they could, and they probably will eventually, but I think that the people who are going to have the most success are going to be the ones that are proactive. I promise you, if I didn't do the nuclear reset, I may have sold one item, because I did sell one item Sunday morning that the guy said, oh, cancel because the shipping was too high. Okay, I'll cancel. It sucks. We're getting shut out still. I'm promising you that it would be a different story right now. I would be pretty bothered, and I allow these results to bother me, and I don't know why, because I care. Now I'm not going to let the results. If I was shut out yesterday, and let's say I was having a bad day today, and nothing I did worked, I would just keep doing what I've been doing. I've been out in the garage just plugging away, listing $300, $400, $500 items. I'm listing good stuff right now, and that's another thing. If you're listing trash and you're getting trash results because all your good stuff sold out, well, that's one reason this could happen. But that's not happening with me. I have some pretty good things that I picked up out of these pallets that I'm listing right now, and there's no reason for my sales to be weird like they were this weekend. So I want to know what you guys are up to. Let's see who we have joining us today, and I can confirm to Primo and Spam that OBS Studio is working just fine. I don't know. I was kind of worried. I was going to do a little test run with the live, maybe a members only thing, but I thought, you know what? I'm just going to roll with it. I even went on to see if anyone else was having problems, and I couldn't find anything. But we have Keith is with us. Nice to see you, Keith. And then Mike is with us second.
Mike, are you back home
It's
now?
the best I could do with Keith around. Well, I got to say, Keith is outfanned you there, Mike. I don't know. I thought you were our number one fan.
He was busy. He was busy.
He was too busy for FAE.
He was...
Because there's different levels of busy.
But see, he was busy doing reseller things. You know, he had a busy weekend in Nashville. And so I presume that he's either flown home by... What's today? Monday? It's 6:13. I would presume that he flew home today. So he was doing reseller things.
I don't know. It's like this. You have your notification bell on. If you hit the notification bell,
he was busy. He had
you
to
get
carry
notified.
He got all kinds of cool
You stop?
gold in Nashville, and he had to carry it home.
But this is what Keith does.
I'm trying, Mike. I'm really trying.
The notification comes in. He hits it, opens it up. He's stopping what he's doing. He's hitting the notification. He's going into the video. He's typing the word first, and then he goes on to do what he has to do. And so that's his formula.
He probably had both suitcases in his hands that are a minimum of 50 pounds a piece, and he's just trucking through the airport.
I'm stopping. It's kind of like a bathroom break. I'm going to stop if I have to go. Let's see. Look.
Wait, what did he? I want to see what he said.
Well, he said that he's.
He said, I'm probably not going to be able to catch the live as I am flying in from Nashville today. We'll catch you when I can. Okay.
Well, you got the Wi-Fi on the plane. I'm confident that you can.
Stop. Leave Mike alone.
I know. We love Mike.
He does so much for us and our community.
So Mike says it was really good. Nashville, I guess. 200 people, garage sales, community, hospital, pinball, hospitality pinball. Boy, that would be a fun one. Hospital pinball. Church, good Southern food, friends. It was the best.
Oh,
all right.
Don't rub it in, Mike.
So we have Swamp Picker with us.
Hey.
And I guess he was able to meet Mike there.
Oh, you
That's
got
good.
to go too? Oh, God.
John Gaynor says, hi, Jenna and John. Good sales last week. Podcast Saturday was informative and funny. While be honest about being a reseller, selling on eBay over 20 years, but learn a lot from your shows. Thanks.
Aw.
You know, we didn't have Josh with us.
I didn't even watch it.
Yeah, but we did have the Jurassic Park Josh with us. So
I heard there was a dinosaur spotted in the video.
I think he's still running from that same dinosaur right now. Keith says, my sales have been great this last week and included some nice big sales.
Nice.
That's awesome. You're getting a little bit late to the game there. So.
I don't know why you have it tied up. I can't hold it.
I don't know. Actually, it's on a short leash, so you don't pull it.
I need a longer leash.
Josh says, hello, everyone. Hope you are
Wait, you
doing well.
skipped.
I know. I wanted to get to Josh real quick. Hope you're doing well.
Hi, Josh.
And look at this. We got Keith gave 2 memberships away, and who is it?
It's CK Postcards and Silver Hair Stacker.
Awesome,
And if
awesome.
anybody paid attention to the videos and the lives and everything that was going on in Nashville, y'all would have caught Silver Hair Stacker Todd was
We
there.
know. I can now pick Todd out of a lineup if I need to. So Derek W. Pat says, hello, fam. Hope everyone had a great weekend.
Hello,
nice to see you,
Derek.
Kevin Hawthorne says, good evening from Lakeland, Florida.
Hi, Kevin.
The always consistent Kevin
Yes.
Hawthorne.
We love Kevin.
Jovial says, hey, FA fam. Happy National Blueberry Pie Day.
Oh,
I will abstain from that day.
yeah, not a pie
I
kind
don't
of
like-
family here.
I don't like fruit. I don't like fruit
He
in my
doesn't
pie.
like fruit anything, but
I don't like fruit in my pie.
You
I
don't
just
like-
don't want it.
you don't like fruit anything.
I really don't.
He doesn't like. He'd
just-
rather be a fruit than eat a fruit.
I'm not fruity. Sorry. Mike Sellers says, checking in from South Dakota. I
South
see ya.
Dakota.
And Ranger. Don't forget
And
Ranger.
Ranger.
Gail Carlson is
Hello,
with us.
Gail.
Mike says, hi, Josh, Rhonda, Derek, Kevin.
Yeah.
G. Gazara, love to know your first name. Probably had a problem with eBay on 2 items. I accepted offers on that. Didn't register as sold. They said there's known glitch to the site today. Anyone else have that problem? Now, were these offers? So, like you have an offer?
You have a bunch you can send.
Well, I'm not ready to do that yet.
But you could do it as an example.
I
see if
wasn't really. That's part of the show, but it wasn't. I'm not ready to do that.
I'm
yet.
jumping ahead.
Yes.
Okay.
So, had a problem with eBay on 2 items, accepted an offer on that. So, you actually had the offers. That's what I was kind of asking. So, I've seen it myself where your item immediately goes back into inventory for sale, but yet the buyer can still buy the item. If there may be I think what's happening is, and this is more common than you think, there's a problem with the payment on file. Maybe it's an old card. For instance, someone might have put a card that was valid at the time as a form of payment. Maybe there's a problem with that card. Maybe there's no balance on that card. And instead of saying, oh, there's a payment rejection, it's simply waiting. Maybe they're sending the buyer a message saying that you need to repay if you want this item. But all the while, it's still up for sale. I would go in and check to see if it's still in your inventory, because that's probably what's happening there. Sutter's Mill says, good evening, everyone, or maybe afternoon for some of you. Well, how you doing, Sutter's Mill?
Yes,
nice to see you.
Hello.
Sutter's
hello.
Mill is very active in our chats, or not the chats, but the comments in the videos. So nice to see you in the lives. Flipping from the trailer says, hi, John and Jenna and chat. How is everyone's weekend? My sales are pretty good. Did I miss Chris?
You missed
Christopher.
Christopher. Hello, Christopher.
I'm trying to get through the chat without getting through every sidebar thing.
Hello, flipping from the trailer. Flip it good.
Flip it goods with us. And Joe Samard says, hello, John, Jen, and also the FA Peoples.
Hello.
Callie Debs.
Kelly Debs.
Hello, everyone. Sales have been brisk up until today when everything has been full of weird requests from potential buyers. It's an off day.
Yeah.
Well, you're still getting sales, you're still getting activity. I mean, I wasn't even getting active. Saturday, I didn't have anything.
Nothing.
It was weird. I mean, if you're in tune with your account, you're going to see things that just strike you funny. You're not getting any offers to send. You're not getting really any action at all, not just the sales. And I let it go. Sunday afternoon, I said, okay, enough is enough. And we're going to go in and do and you know what? I would have been surprised if nothing would have come out of the nuclear reset. I'm pretty confident that works most of the time for me. Now, will it work for you? I don't know, but I sell everything. Let's see. Derek says, I got early this morning feeling pretty good. Haven't felt good in mornings in a long time. Drank my liquid IV, got to work, got more done today than I have in weeks.
That's awesome.
That's good
Yeah,
to hear.
that's I want to get some of the it is like liquid IV, but it's called Element, and it's a hydration thing, and it has no sugar. I believe liquid IV has sugar in it, but or some form of it.
I've changed my regimen, my vitamin regimen. I've been doing I do vitamins for years, but I've added this blend. It's a magnesium and I think potassium blend. And it's helped me with my sleep a little bit. So, Gail says, this weekend was my international weekend. Several sales overseas. I haven't had an overseas
We
in
haven't
a while.
had anything like that.
And we use the international program. Well, we use the international program on the second account.
We may have had one that went. Is there a shipping hub in Florida?
No.
Oh.
That's
okay.
probably that's
Maybe
probably
it could
a freight forwarder.
Military.
Well, if it's in Florida, I mean, there's what makes you think it's military?
Because there were some weird numbers in there.
That's a freight forwarder.
Okay.
More than likely. He says, hey, Derek, same here. Good as today. We've got Ping with us. Thanks for being here, Ping. Chastity.
Did you have so much fun in Nashville?
Spam Banshee.
Spam.
And Casey, New York says, hello, John, Jenna, and FA
Casey.
Chat. Nice to see you guys. Thanks for being here. And then Josh, camera angle is really good. Yeah,
It was a
somewhat
little low.
annoying. I'm not going to mess with it right now, but it does need a zoom just a little bit more.
This part that's showing right here.
Yeah.
That's gonna drive me bonkers.
It's going to drive you bonkers?
Yeah. So.
So, what is it?
We don't have to fix it now. So far, it's blending in with my shirt.
Okay. Okay. I don't know what that means, but okay.
That it's not as noticeable.
Okay. I was messing with the zoom feature on this thing, but once we get it
Let's
tuned in,
not do it now.
I can do all the signs and all that, and it's not going to react because I have that feature turned
Thank
off.
God, because that was so obnoxious.
I wanted to go over a couple things with you. Here's something that came across the value-added resource, and it says Poshmark cracks down on listing removals, raising alarm for sellers who cross-post on either marketplaces. So I don't necessarily think this is an issue with cross-posting, more so than people attempting to do end items sell similar in mass on Poshmark. And they're starting to crack down on people who, if you have an item that is been listed less than 60 days and you're ending it and selling similar or like relist, you're going to get flagged. So they don't want you to do this. Apparently there's an update as of today, though. Poshmark has heard the significant outcry from sellers about the new excessive listing removal policy and published a company blog post to address the concern. It says, last week we announced a new excessive listing removal policy. We have heard and sincerely appreciate your feedback. It's ahead of the May 1st policy launch, so I guess they're not going to crack down until next week. We want to provide, or actually later this week. We want to provide clear guidance on what's allowed and confirm that thoughtfully refreshing your closet is still encouraged. So they said you could still do it, but what you can do, refresh listings that haven't sold for 60 days. So on this is not eBay. This is Poshmark. eBay doesn't care right now. Poshmark, if you have an item that was listed less than 2 months ago, they don't want you doing this. You're welcome to refresh older listings to keep your closet vibrant and up to date. This policy is about how often you revisit your listings, not how you do it. Improve your refreshed listings. Add new photos, update titles and descriptions, or use Smart List AI to enhance your listings. They say you can use in-app features to reach shoppers, drop prices. I mean, this is just them fluffing it up. They're trying to tout their features. You can remove listings when no longer available. If your item sells elsewhere or is out of stock, you can delete it from Poshmark.
Oh, gee, thank you for the permission. I mean, honestly.
Yeah, do they want us to keep it up there so that we have a item that we can't deliver? But TreeCat does all that for you if you guys want to go check it out. There's a link in the description. But yes, it looks like they're cracking down. You can continue to copy listing feature. Copy listing can be used to create similar listings anytime to refresh existing listings after 60 days. Now, what they don't want you to do is excessive deletion and relisting of the same items, removing and relisting in fewer than 60 days. Behavior that circumvents fair discovery. Any action intended to gain unfair search or marketing advantages. And it says, as the marketplace evolves, so do our policies. Refreshing your listings remains an important part of a successful selling strategy. Our goal is to ensure it's done in a way that benefits the entire community. So I guess, like, for instance, what a lot of us will do on eBay is we'll go in and we will do an end item sell similar to get that tag next to our title that says new listing. It's a new listing tag. I don't know how long it lasts, like 12 to 24 hours I've seen. And it does give you a boost in your rank. You know, eBay wants to promote those newer listings versus if you have a stale listing that's been sitting there for months, it pushes it down further in search, because the way eBay looks at it is, you know, these guys have had their chance. We've showed these items. It's not selling. And let's put the newer things up first because maybe someone's looking for that thing. And that's why I do it. And I guess Poshmark's like thinking of that as, maybe it is, an unfair advantage that you have over someone who doesn't involve in that practice. But, you know, I think that that's the wrong way to look at it. Mm-hmm. I think they should promote sellers constantly working with their inventory And if that means ending it and relisting it or sell similar, then that's fine, because maybe they're tweaking things. Maybe it just is a way to promote sellers that are really on top of their listings versus someone, I'm just going to list it. I'll come back in 60 days and see how I'm doing. And your hands off. I think that's kind of the other side of the coin. But I want to know what you guys think about that. Should we be penalized for ending our items and selling similar? Or do you think it's just gaming the system and it shouldn't be allowed, like Poshmark's saying here? I want to know what you guys think of that. Let's see. I guess Mike did good. 14 sales on time away while he was gone. That's
nice.
good. But you're gone. That's actually pretty good. You're gone less than a week, though, I think.
Wasn't he gone Thursday?
Yeah, so that's pretty decent for him.
Yeah.
Chastity says, I had 4 sales on eBay, but had more offer to watchers opportunities than I usually get. And I was in a different state. 2 Bonanza sales and an Amazon sale.
Yay.
Well, I'm telling you right now, I don't even have to look. I have 0 Bonanza sales because I don't sell there anymore.
Yeah. No
just
more
not going to do it.
Bonanza.
Not doing it. I have turned it off because I believe as of May 1, is it May 1? Where if you have more than 50 items, you're being charged 3 cents per listing, capped at $20. It's like, no, thank you.
Absolute horseshit. Hi, Devon.
Where? Oh, yeah, there she is.
I
Devon.
did reply to her comment. But...
Sutter's Mill says, there are numerous opportunities due to tariff-related shortages for Halloween, Christmas, back-to-school items, shoes, and electronics. Staying informed about the latest tariff news is crucial. Yeah. I agree with that, but there's people that either don't understand it or it feels political to them and they don't want to be bothered with it. But to me, it doesn't matter, who's in office. It's affecting your sales. Whatever happens with the economy, the value of the dollar. A lot of people don't even understand how that works. The value of the dollar, and they think a dollar's a dollar. But if the value of the dollar drops, that means that
it takes more dollars to get that thing.
Yeah, you're gonna have to pay more next time you go to source that. So I think
want to pay less dollars.
I think as resellers, we should be in some way tuned with, with those things, the value of the dollar, the economy. Because at the end of the day, whether you want to admit it or not, you are part of the retail sector. And if retail drops, then chances are we're all going to be affected by that in some way. Mm-hmm. Devon says eBay's slow. Yep. For some people. I heard on Primo's secondary live today.
Oh.
Yeah, they had some problems this morning. I feel good. Not about I don't want to wish bad on them because I love them people over there in Vermont and their tacos and all that. But it made me feel good that I'm not the only one dealing with issues on live streams. So
I missed it, I guess.
And I told Jenna, I said, I think I'm going to go late today just because I can. Just feel good about being 2 minutes late now. We got Samantha Hunter says, good evening, John,
Samantha!
Jenna, and FA Resellers.
Hi!
And please hit that like button. Get your sale within the next 24 hours. I don't know how or why it works, but it just does. Mm-hmm. Reef the Sea Forever says, yeah, I had a weird sale day on Saturday. 2 items sold in similar categories about an hour apart. Then Sunday came nothing, which I normally do good on Sunday. Mm-hmm. Today, no sales, but I sent some offers.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very weird climate right now. I don't know what's happening.
I don't know how many items you have. We had 260 in the main account, which doesn't seem like a lot to a lot of people, but we have higher end items price wise in that store. If it seems weird to you, I don't see how it will hurt to do the end item sell similar. Might be something to try. Yes, it is gaming the system, but as long as the system it's sort of like playing Monopoly and being able to buy, like, oh, I'll just go ahead and buy the damn whole hotel and won't buy house by house. I'll just buy the whole hotel. And some people don't like playing like that. So it's kind of frowned upon. But as long as that's part of the rules of the game, then buy your damn hotel and while others refuse to do it. I mean, it's a bad analogy, but at the end of the day, we're gaming the system. Pensacola Flipper, good day here. And of course, there's always somebody who wants to call me. I don't know who that is. Pensacola Flipper, good day here for a sale. Getting back into the grind from moving.
Oh, moving.
Yeah, and then
I'm glad that it's almost over for you because I feel your pain.
and then you have the lost inventory situation. Excuse me. Well,
What's happening?
I have no idea, but the moment everything's going
Lord.
crazy with my phone. That's why I turn my ringer off. I turn my sounds off, and then I wonder why I don't hear anything on my phone because I got all this going on. But this is the segment where Jenna gets up and she. I don't know if she's going outside to meet the mailman or to meet the FedEx person, but the package is already outside for FedEx. Or the Amazon guy. So I would wait till they ring the doorbell. Bear's with us. Good morning, everyone. Nice to see you, Bear. Henri Squaw. Nice to see you, Henri Squaw. Let's see if I have any other comments. So wanted to talk to you guys to show you this thing here, if I can get to it. Bear with me a second. So when it comes to sending offers, as you see I have 5. I intentionally didn't send offers so that I can actually get my offers sent. Now, you can go in and use a whatever they default at. So I have this part for a Karcher vacuum cleaner. You can go in and just use whatever they offer you to use. Here's your chance to get the item at a great price. But I think it's kind of generic, and instead I go in.
Well, welcome back to the Profit Playbook Podcast, episode 61.
What is going on
As you can see, Josh is not here. He decided
Bear with
to
me, guys.
play with this tack from Dinosaurs. I don't know if you saw his short that he put out
Hopefully you guys don't hear
an
that,
hour ago.
but
This is Thursday, by the
Bear
way.
with me a second.
We're recording this.
I just have time to do shorts in case.
What is going on right now?
I don't know. He's
I have no idea what's going on right now. Why is there always technical issues? I'm sitting here going over something else, and the Profit Playbook Podcast starts playing. So I don't know what's happening. I'm getting punked. But nonetheless, going back to this, as you can see, I have my own. It says, here is your chance to get a great deal on this item. We're offering a steep discount. Did you do that, by the way?
Do what?
I don't know. That was weird. We're offering a steep discount to only a limited number of interested buyers. Once the sale's out, the sale is over. Please don't miss out. So I like that better than the generic one that they give us. Now, in this case, I wanted to show you something, but I'm going to go ahead and just make some offers while I'm doing it. I'll try to do, you could do 12. This is a $54.99. I like keeping it that way, but here's a little trick that we talked about in the members only. If I go 11.11, guess what? It'll keep it at $55.99. It'll keep the 99. Not always. If you already have a 99, it will not always change it, but many times you'll have it at 99. Don't ask me how or why the math works that way. So if you wanted to add, offer a discount that's more than maybe your 10% coupon, 11.11% off does work. But that's not all. I want to show you this too. This is a thing that eBay came out with a reminder on, to send the automated offer. How many of you guys use this? So it means that you might have right now, there's one interested person that's looking at this. So one person's watching this. Well, instead of having to send it to multiple people over and over again, if I get more watchers, it's going to, and I don't know how long, it may be, doesn't really say the duration. Okay, so 24 hours, I guess, is what I'm assuming. If you get someone that's a watcher, it'll send the same offer to that person too, so it's not something that you have to deal with. So I'll just send that thing off. And really, I could go in and just do this so that I'm not doing it for one. I'll just do the same thing. I'll just do 11.11% off. And look, $75.99, $55.99. This one was $17.59, which is not bad, I guess. $39.99. So it keeps 11.11 works if you have 99 cents as your price in most cases. And I'm not going to allow counter offers, and then I'll just send them. So there we go. So I wanted to show you guys that. See if you guys have seen that before. I showed people in the members only, the last members only that we had, and they were like, wow, I didn't know the 11.11% off would return the 99 cents. So something to think about there. but also the automated offers that if you send one out, it'll automate the same deal to someone who looks at the item later on. Todd says, howdy. Nice to see you, Todd.
Hello, Todd.
And Reef the Sea Forever says, I agree. There's something going on. Something's going on. Derek W. Pat says,
Wrong
8 sales.
song, wrong
8
song.
sales this weekend. Happy I am.
Yeah.
Yes. We have buttons. Bear is...
He's loving
I
the
guess.
bond.
I know all of you will be jealous. 1 sale this weekend. Yes.
Like,
Well, you almost beat me. If
you
I didn't get in there,
almost beat us.
if I didn't get in there and do the end item sell similar, you would have kicked my butt this weekend. Bear's got a $749 going to UK. There you go.
What?
eBay does work, even from Japan.
Yay!
Keith says, I had a bad month right up to the end of Easter break. Then boom, sales come rolling in. Done more since last Monday today than I did in last month.
I don't want to spend the whole live clapping, so I don't want to annoy everybody.
But
You sold it on eBay, the whole.
Silver hair.
Excuse me?
Silver Hair
What did he
says
say?
sales are almost exactly the same as the same time in 2024, and 2024 was my best year.
Nice.
There you go. I
Lots
think,
of toothbrush holders.
yeah, I think he's bundling those toothbrush holders out with something.
Maybe
John,
a
your like
toothbrush?
button is working. Yes, but I don't know if there's a conversion rate. I mean, it's been longer than 24 hours for you, so maybe there's a little bit more time involved if you're not in the U.S. Pensacola says, I did a nuclear on my 1,600 items yesterday to get my store woke up from a week time away. I did almost normal day worth of sales today, been slower.
Okay.
Well,
That's okay.
You know, you're not getting 0, so
Yeah.
that's good. Charlie Brown says,
Charlie
hey, y'all.
Brown.
Charlie Brown. We need some Charlie Brown sound effects. Sorry.
I know. I have nothing.
Pico says, I was doing reseller things.
Nice.
Real timeless vintage. This weekend I will be working in the flea market with my coin rings. Okay. Golden Week in Japan.
Oh.
We got to see the video.
Yep.
Todd
We gotta
says,
see videos.
Mike showed my face on his channel. I am suing him for defacation.
Defacation. Hey, you are a willing participant.
But
Isn't Todd he's a very handsome man.
I hear you made the sound effects more tolerable. So the sound, Mike had some sound issues, and you made the sound effects a little more tolerable.
The sound was god awful, but that's okay. We weren't there to listen. We were there to watch.
G. Gazzara says, as stated above, I haven't received payment for 2 items sold due to the eBay glitch. But
Well,
I'm
how
wondering,
do you know
though,
if it's related?
but is it really so I would say you might want to go in and see if you have, so if you're here on your seller hub and go into waiting payment, click on that. And of course, I don't have anybody who's accepted an offer, but see if there's anything there, and that might be why. Now, if nothing's there, then yeah, I'd buy into that. Spam says, glad OBS is working for you.
Hey, not many things work for us on a regular basis, so it's nice when we don't have to experience everything else that's going on in the OBS world.
I'm going to do a Pegasus Lounge thing and invite everyone to my OBS Studio course where I can show you how to manage the bubbles and to launch your video within 15 minutes of the advertised start time. Chastity says, meeting Todd was one of the highlights of the weekend.
I know. That's so cool. Chastity, I'm so jealous. I just want to give him a big hug.
Wendy's Wandering says, books and more. Oh, okay. Hello, John. Hello, John and Jen in the
Where
chat.
are you
I
going?
just received a sale before the show. I guess I knew it was going. I was going to give you a thumbs
That's
up.
right.
Yes.
That's right, Wendy.
Merck's Mercantile.
Whoa, what's going
says,
on,
hey,
honey?
John and
What's
Jenna,
going
checking
on?
from
Do
California.
you need some coffee?
I know I don't need any coffee. I just doing my best
Or
here.
maybe you need something else.
Some chocolate. Beamy Reseller says, good evening, all.
Mimi!
Nice to see you guys.
Bill and
Marge.
No, you're wrong.
Midge.
Midge.
Miss Jill says happy Monday,
I don't
everyone.
remember many things, okay, in this day and age of my life. I don't remember many things, but for some reason, I remember Midge.
Sorry, Midge. Marge? Midge? Sorry.
Just stop. Hello, Miss Jill.
Beamy says our sales are flat. Oh, there we
Oh.
go. I knew I had something happening here. So, we have David Pentland from Scotland. It says, evening all. I hope John and Jen are well. Sales are bad, but it's not as it's a bad time of year. So, why is it a particularly bad time of year? Is it like something in the UK? Now, like Keith, he's saying he's had some great sales. So I'm wondering, being that he's in the same area there, why do you think that is? Then Bears, I know he's been having problems with sales, but lately it's been doing really well for him. So I don't know. Beamy says Vitagamine. What is that? Vita Jamin? I don't know what that is. You got to tell me what that is. Big Dre says, cha-ching, hello, John, Jenna, and chat. My 7th sale in my niche store this month. I don't know if that's good or not. It's all in perspective. You know, if you're used to making a sale once every few days, then I guess that's okay. Basket Noodle, with this, thanks for being here. Basket Noodle, greetings. Welcome to Mosh Park.
Nudes!
Was that the U.S. Post Office?
Yes.
FedEx come yet?
No.
But we don't need to answer for them, so that's good.
No. They're
Todd sold the $1,500 worth of crap while away at Nashville.
nice.
Wow, paid for your trip.
Yeah.
Did you fly? You drive? I don't know. How far is Texas from Nashville?
Yeah, it's quite a few hours.
Chastity says, dang, Todd, that's awesome.
I know.
Mike G says, hello, I've beat my first 4 months compared to last year, up 25% for the year. I'm waiting to see how my sales do this summer. It's my most challenging time, 25% less sales.
Yeah.
I know that this has been a thought for a long time. I've talked about it many times on this channel. Actually, as recent as a couple weeks ago. Summer slowdown. I'm starting to think it's more about the seller than the buyer. We have a lot of distractions in the summertime, and I'm wondering if you get distracted. Think about what part of the country you're in, and if you tend to do more things with the family, go on vacations, and that could have something to do with it. Let's see.
Remind me, I gotta call Kelly.
Okay. Basket says, I have no thoughts on the subject. I'm a fully adjustable human being complete with parts screwed in.
But are you adjustable?
I think he's set in his ways. Polly tickles
A fucked?
all of us human beings. I have no... Here we go. This is the segment where... Oh,
affect
okay.
all human beings.
Okay. Chastity says, I didn't think I sold there anymore either, but I guess they did not turn it off.
Oh.
When I closed it, closed Bonanza again today after shipping my sales. Fingers crossed it stays closed this time.
Oh,
you know what?
You know what? I remember her telling us that.
It makes me wonder. It's like when you try to cancel, like
A subscription of some
like,
kind.
oh, we'll give you the next month for free.
Yeah.
You know, and this is their way of like maybe doing that for you. But now you got me wondering because I don't want it. Sorry. It says seller
It
dashboard.
would be nice to just, can we
Nothing going on there.
take our listings off of there?
I did remove them. I think I did. Devon says, I do. The dollar is going down. Bitcoin is going up. No more purchasing power.
Yep.
Yeah, you want a strong dollar, I think. But who am I? King of Kings says, I day trade, so I surely keep up with the currencies are worth. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell you. Bear got an offer on eBay, $100 on an item that he just listed for $189. What the heck? I just ignored him, didn't respond. Mm-hmm. So think about this for a second, Bear. Now, I'm gonna talk you off the ledge here. You got an offer. This is better than not getting an offer at all, in my opinion. Now, I don't know what you're into the item for. What's the lowest you'll take? If someone was to come knocking at your door right now and saying, that thing that you have, I want to buy it, and what's the lowest you'll take? What would you tell them? So I would maybe respond saying, thank you for your offer. We just listed this item right now, and the best that I'm willing to do is 160. If we still have it in a month from now, I might be willing to come down a little bit if you want to check back with me then. That's better than doing nothing at all, because let's say this person's serious about buying your item. If you don't respond to them, they're going to, in their mind, it's going to paint a picture about you that's not true, that you're not a responsive seller, and you're going to lose a potential customer. I just think that neglecting potential buyers is not the right way. Biff Boffo says, I agree, John. People who want it more should be rewarded with their ESS efforts. These people are probably be more diligent resellers anyhow. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Biff Boffo says also, someone can say that simple advertising is also gaming the system. I mean, isn't what eBay is asking us to do to get our items promoted on social media? Isn't that gaming the system versus those who maybe don't even have social media set up? I really think it may be more of a technical thing with Poshmark. It might be screwing their system up with all these end item sell similars, or they don't even have a sell similar, but end item relists that's going on. I think it's causing them headaches, and maybe their system just can't handle it on that level. Basketball is correct, Biff. If anything, games the system, it's promoted. I mean, seriously. Yeah, true. You're paying 15% when others are paying 2 or not at all, and but eBay's fine with it because it's padding their pockets.
Right.
Basket Noodles sure sell similar, places items back into the current browse queue, and that's why I recommend it. Now, don't go as far as doing it every day. I don't see a point in that. It's going to make you use a lot of your listings in your store, but maybe once every 27 days is the way I have it set up. We have on her account, we have it linked with TreeCat to where every 27 days we have it ending items selling similar. Basket Noodle says, reality is the eBay point of sale system should be far, far, far more refined and advanced than it is. I think so. But it might be because it's on an older platform. They might be limited in what they can do. We hear it. What the hell? Yeah, I don't know what that was. It was weird. When you were gone, I'm totally
all of
in another.
a sudden I heard PPP playing.
Yes, and I'm not even in that browser. Something's weird. Something's going on. I'm getting punked by somebody.
John
has lost control. I'm like, wait, someone shut me up. I don't want another
I ask
diatribe.
that question like all the time. I have no idea what's going on.
I have no idea. That was so weird. Chai's with us as my OBS makes my voice skip around and I start clicking on things on the computer. Must be due to being wireless. Yeah. I don't know. Devon says, John, I like a message you leave when giving offers. I need to do that. And it's as simple as just creating a notepad file and pinning it to, if you have Windows, and I guess it's the same if you have a Mac, pin it to your taskbar, and it's there. I don't have to go looking for the file. And then I always keep it open when I'm working. So, for instance, it's too hard. I don't like the way that looks. So, for instance, I'll try to make it so it's somewhat readable. I have a lot of different ones, and I need to get rid of.
Open a new tab and put
No, this is fine. This is fine. I don't know if you guys can see it okay or not, but like here's one of them for the one I just did. Send offer template. Here's like the patches. I have one that I just copy and paste into my listing. Here's one where I just have one. I was tired of typing this in for all the patches I was doing with Grok, so I just did that and pasted it into Grok every time I wanted to start a new session. Here's one where I do parts. Here's one where when I talk to my buyer after they bought something. Just wanted to reach out to you to let you know I'll be shipping this item to you first thing tomorrow morning. And yeah, so we have all kinds of different templates that we use. Whoops, sorry, wrong button.
Wow,
I'm going to have her.
Control
I'm
with
going to have
button clicking.
You're going to be in charge of this button on
Oh,
Friday.
I'm gonna have charge of the buttons. All right.
So Basket Noodle says 10% is a steep discount. Well, you know what? It's not about my perception of it. It's about creating a perception to the buyer. So I want them to know they're getting a hell of a deal. And it doesn't necessarily mean that, that 10% off of my price. I'm saying as compared to retail, they're getting a steep discount. Repurposed Art says Ozempic works. Ozempic works. I don't even know
What are you trying to say?
I don't know. What is Ozempic?
It's the freaking. Well, it's for diabetics, but
Okay.
it's for lots of people are taking it to lose weight.
Wow. Callie Deb says 2 sales right now on Posh. That's awesome. Sutter's Mill says you have a 10% public coupon and then you send an offer of 10%. Does that compound? In other words, the buyer get 20% off the total. No, I've had people accept the offer and say, well, can I use the coupon? No, you can't. To me, it's maybe they clicked into my listing because they don't see the coupon discount until they get into your listing. So maybe they don't notice that little green price that's in the kind of in the middle right side of the screen. At least on the PC, that's where it's at. And they click off, they go somewhere else. So I offer them a 10%, or sometimes I'll even offer them like less than that if I've just listed the item. And I'm like, man, I know this thing's going to sell. I want to, and I'm a firm believer that if you're sending offers, you're receiving offers, you're interacting with the buyer that sent you an offer, all these things create activity on the listing. And I'm a firm believer that you get a boost in with that listing, with the activity you're getting around it. So I want to put out an offer that is in line with how long I've had it. How long have I been sitting on that item? So if I've been sitting on the item for weeks, I might be more aggressive. I might be 20% or something like that. Let's see. Basketball, new gold term. Par pissa pants. When you beat par in huge fashion and suck at golf. I gotta tell you, I was sorry at golf yesterday. I did go play in the morning yesterday morning. I did take a break, and I was horrible. I woke up a couple people, hit their house. I know I did. It's like
John.
I didn't do it on purpose. I was more upset with myself than you were just now, and I wasn't the only one hitting houses, by the way.
I could never live
Todd.
off of a golf course. As much as I love it and think it's beautiful, I could never do that.
Todd says, I sent Chastity's adoption papers off this morning.
Guess what? You're going to Texas, Chastity.
So, short com?
I think it's supposed to.
Short coin, I'm sure you meant. So
Yeah.
there is an option for that when you set up your coupon. I don't think there's... I don't think you cannot use the coupon and the offer at the same time.
Yeah.
Keith says, hey John, how's your eyes been? They were a little red last time. I don't know, they seem okay.
You seem a little.
I always put my drops in.
They seem much better, but they're still a little red.
Baskin Noodles, there's several options with coupons. I've not used them in some time. And to be fair, I haven't gone back lately to see if they've added any features to the coupons. Maybe I need to go and do that. Maybe make a video on it. But I've continued to copy, like every month. Every year I'll copy a new coupon. I'll let it run for the year. Big Dre says, just taking a break inside the McDonald's that's inside the post office drop center. Then I'll go. They have a McDonald's.
McDonald's in the post office?
Then I'll go to the storage unit to pick up the cha-ching I just got, and I'll be right
Texas
back
thing.
here again. That's weird.
Gotta be a Texas thing. I'm surprised there's not a Buc-ee's or something.
That's just so weird. I need to stop and get me a stamp and some ketchup.
Chai
and a cheeseburger. Yeah, had a garage sale this weekend and made $700. First of the year here in suburbs in Chicagoland. Weather finally allows it.
Yay!
Yeah.
Good.
That's awesome.
That is
and I'm
awesome.
sure you didn't make the mistake that I did. You didn't keep your garage door open to show everyone that you're a reseller. Craig Winan says, if you haven't heard yet, Auction Professor is having YouTube force Pegasus Lounge to take down the video about him. The guy's a grifter. I'm not saying that about Auction Professor. I have respect for that guy. I'm talking about the donkey bar. He is nothing but a grifter, okay? And anyone who takes reselling advice from someone who is not a reseller, okay? He might buy and have things made in China, third-party brands shipped to the U.S. That's a totally different game when you're selling on Amazon. That's a totally different game than reselling goods on eBay. And there is a certain audience, I guess, who enjoys seeing train wrecks, seeing people get, defamed. And I didn't go that far on the video that he made about me. He made a video that, and you guys have watched his channel know that I am not one that will buy in large volume and sell $5 and $10 items. Now that works, and the question that was asked of me is, can that work? Can you buy and sell low value stuff on this platform? And I said, well, the first person that came to my mind was James. He does it all day long.
He's made an excellent and amazing life for him and his family.
And
so
he probably drives a better car than Pegasus Lounge does. Okay,
guaranteed.
Doing it. So with that said, in my mind, I'm like, yes, you can make money doing this, selling $5 and $10 items. Now he turned that into, see, this guy is going down the wrong path, teaching you guys to sell $5 and $10 low value items. That's not what I said. In fact, what I preach is selling higher ASP items. But then he came back with a video that said that and said, this guy doesn't know which way he wants to go. Man, taking stuff out of...
There's always those ones that are going to take, 5 words out of an entire paragraph and reconfigure it to make it sound and mean something else to somebody else listening. So it's just another soundbite that they want to play off of. So
yeah, it's just,
I really don't care.
These people are grifters, and you know what? It wouldn't even bother me at all if they weren't trying to tell you, oh, check out my program on how to make money. And it's like, that's the motivation. 2 things: build a YouTube channel through negativity. And then once you're in and think, oh, this guy is great, he's knocking all these resellers down, and then you go and you join their course. It's like, no, ridiculous.
No, they're I just can't. I can't handle people who are just out to hurt the image of others on purpose. And it just is, it's disgusting. It's not a good look, and it's not going to get you anywhere.
I'll go as far as this. Mr. Pegasus Lounge guy, you want to come on here live, you want to debate reselling, debate how I resell, debate the viability of reselling, I'll do it all day long with my hand tied behind my back, and I will not only prove that it can be done through I have sheer numbers that can prove it, because I show you guys my numbers all day long, not only through my accounts but through other people that I know as well. So, and you know what? Like Primo said, this guy might make money reselling in his own way, but to come and knock the eBay model when you're not an eBayer is just ridiculous.
Everybody's strategy for their own business is different. Not one of us are doing the exact same thing in our reselling business. It's just not possible. We don't have the same incomes. We don't have the same access to product. We don't have the same personalities or drive or work ethic. It's impossible. And so you do what works for you and what works for your family and your business and your situation, period.
The common denominator that we all have is that we all most of us sell on the same platform. Now, there's some people who watch that maybe don't sell on eBay anymore, but maybe used to. Rare, it's not for this channel at least, for people watching this channel who've never sold on eBay. Or maybe there's people out there that are thinking about selling on eBay and just trying to watch a few shows before they get started. But that's the common denominator. If I was to make a channel focused on, buying liquidation pallets, I probably wouldn't have more than 1,000 subs, if I'm being honest. So this channel caters to all resellers selling very differently, very different stuff in very different ways. But the thing that kind of keeps us together is the fact that we all are able to make some money on this platform. And if it isn't like I'm on here saying, you can get rich today, by selling on eBay. That is, you won't find any legitimate reseller saying that. Kelly says, my sales are up 31% this April over last. If something isn't working, try something else. Once you lock in, leave it alone until it stalls out. Yeah.
Very good, Kelly.
Yep. I agree with that.
And I heard you slaughtering the...
Vita Meat Vega Megan?
Yeah, it's an I Love Lucy episode.
Oh.
Yeah, from a vitamin commercial she did, is what Beamy was saying.
You just aged yourself a little bit. Jenna, Todd gives great hugs.
Oh, he looks like he's a good hugger.
Short Coin says, I will be working on my cabin in Montana this summer.
Whoa.
Sales will be really slow.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be the downfall of having a beautiful cabin in Montana versus having sales. Can't do both.
Chai says, I thought Bonanza was a cowboy TV show and had no idea it was a place to sell online.
It was. It makes me think of that every time.
Well, with what Bonanza is doing, it's going to be just like the Bonanza cowboy show. It's going to be history. I'm telling you that right now. There's no future in Bonanza. There's no future in a selling site that drives little to no traffic and now wants to take advantage of that and charge you fees. eBay can get away with it. Bonanza can't. For them to try to copy any model that's going to bring them extra revenue without adding extra value or extra sales, it ain't going to work for them. Keith says, here in the UK, there's been talk on people that normally offer free postage or adding postage, but after looking into it, they are also losing some sales as some buyers prefer free postage compared to postage. And that's because I'm convinced there's a segment of our buying population that truly believes that
shipping is free.
Shipping is free, and you're being a greedy person by adding shipping because it's free. You're making money on shipping. No, it's not free. And I wish these people were educated, but what can you do? It isn't like you're going to educate these people overnight as to how selling works. Big Dre says, my 90-day total is $515, and I currently have 66 items listed. Once I break 100 listed, I plan to promote my store, see if I get a sales boost. Are you selling in a niche? If you're selling everything like me, I wouldn't even bother promoting your store. Chastity says, no one else knows it exists either. Chai. Let's see. Oh, this is due to the postage price increase? Yeah. Dre says the store's only been open this month, so it's not really a 90-day total. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Really hard to... You have nothing to kind of compare it to, so I wouldn't get caught up in the numbers so much.
Yeah, not yet. Maybe next year.
JRKR 1964. Hi, John
Hello,
and Jenna.
Jen.
Nice to see you. Keith does a hybrid system, some free postage and some have postage. I would say you can even go as far as maybe meeting the buyer halfway. So if it's $8 or £8 or whatever it costs you to ship, maybe just do a flat $4. But then again, people look at it as, well, I don't want to pay shipping. But they're willing to pay, and this is the crazy thing, a buyer's willing to pay $12 with shipping built in, then $6 plus shipping, and it's $11 when it's all said and done. Just crazy to me. Benevolent Dictator says, everyone, I'm late, got distracted watching election news. We have our federal election tonight. Very nervous. I think that's in Canada, right? And yeah, I heard something where Josh said
doing an election in April? Just seems weird.
We're talking about Canada now. Be nice.
True.
The people are great, but the way they have it set up is funky.
Government is very whack.
Unfortunately, Well, fortunately for me, I can say that. Unfortunately for many Canadians, they can't really speak their mind on how they feel about it.
Which is horrendous.
Bear says, John, it's a rare item. It's a 1950s tray. He also could be a scammer. Lowball, red flag for me, but I will take your advice and will send him an offer. Yeah, why not?
Just counter. I mean,
So,
it cannot hurt you.
Explain your position. I just listened to this today, and because of that, this is the lowest I'll go. But if, we still have it in a couple months.
Yeah.
I don't even know if $100 will work for you, but how would you feel about that item in 3 months from now? Are you gonna wow, I really wish I sold it back then when I had the $100 offer? So let him know where you stand and when he needs to contact you and to get a better deal. Mike G says, I work the same and consistent all year round. I do go on 7-day vacation, so that's obviously will lower sales because I don't do much that week. Think it has to do with my category. Well, think about it.
I would like to go on a 7-day vacation.
You sell video games mostly. If people are out enjoying the weather, they're not inside enjoying the video games. Maybe at night, but not so much. They're out and about with the family on vacation, and they'll get to the video games when they get home. In the wintertime, there is no vacation. There is no weather worth going out for in many places. And that's either, watch TV or play video games. So I guess I'll play video games. So I think there's maybe something to a summer slowdown with certain items like yours. Paul Rose, hi John, Jenna, and FA family. Just popping in to say hello. I'll probably be gone by the time John sees this.
Hello,
Or am
Paul.
I behind? I'm only 18 minutes
No,
behind.
I think he's still here.
I'm not that far behind.
He's still here.
Jovio says, anyone watch Primo's live today? Don't y'all think John, Primo, Josh, and Beard should do to start a district? I heard about that. Here's the problem with that. And this is kind of what I guess the storage auction pirate on Whatnot is now going to start his own district. It's getting kind of like there's getting to be too many players in the game, I think. There's just going to be too many market. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I'm open to it. If we have enough people. But honestly, I think there's just too many marketplaces. You have Dib Dat, did everything else. All those dibs. I don't know. There's all kinds of dib dits going on. You have Pete's. You have J-Ride has one. You've got, who's that lady? The crazy lamp lady.
You just said her name.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what hers is called. You have that one.
I don't know.
You've got the one with the auction pirate. I'm sure there's a couple more I don't even know of. It's like, come on. So I think we're just kind of getting a little too late into that game. I'm open to discussions to do it, but I just don't know. Paul Rose says, yeah, John, I have sticky notes on the Mac to cut and paste messages from and just change the specifics. Mm-hmm. Yep, I think it's a good idea. That way you don't have to type. You're consistent. You're sending the same message out. If I had to type all this out, I wouldn't even do it.
Yeah, you have sticky notes?
No,
yeah, we have sticky notes on the Mac. Yeah.
You Want You Need says, hey, John and Jenna, I hope you're well. Curious, do you have any tips for lighting, picture taking? I'm really struggling to get good pictures. Well, do you have any tips? I'm gonna search for something while you do that.
Well, the lights that we have, I don't know anything about them. I just know they're about yay big.
I'm gonna get that information for you.
And about yay big, and they have different colors that you can use, different brightnesses, and they work very nicely. They are probably the best that we've ever had, because we've had a variety of different lighting setups, and right now the one that we have currently I think is probably the best one for lighting. And then of course a plain white background, and then if you want to do like an AI background, if you want to do something like that, unless you want to keep it with just a white background like many people do. Just what are those things? It's vinyl. It's a you can actually wipe it off, clean it. It's a vinyl, and it comes on a big roll, and we just roll it onto the desk, and John kind of props it up so that if there's something that he needs to set, like set up against it. But that works out great for us.
This is the vinyl she's talking about.
Yeah.
This is 12 by 20. No, this is not the vinyl.
That's heat transfer vinyl,
Oh,
honey.
that ain't it.
That's not it.
I'm trying to find it for you guys. Like,
No,
yeah, don't buy
that's
that.
for t-shirts. Don't buy that.
I don't know what happened to it, but it. Yeah, it. Here it is. Here it is. I know I'd find it. So here we go. This is what she's talking about. It's a 48 by 80 inch PVC backdrop. One side's like a glossy, one's matte, and you can.
Yeah, it's really easy to keep clean. You can just wipe it down. That's the best feature in my opinion.
It'll last you, a good 6 months to a year before it gets really crappy where you have to replace it. Just replace it. I screw it down.
That's for him. For other people, it will probably last longer.
Because I'm putting
he's putting
lawnmowers
big,
and
dirty items.
I clean
on
my
there.
things on there too, but I just wipe it down, clean it up real good. Now, oops, that's not it. Now, this as far as the lighting is concerned, I bought this back in March of last year, but it's a panel where these are LED lighting panels that you can really make work for you, and they're not that expensive. I don't think they have these anymore in stock.
It says currently unavailable.
Yeah, currently unavailable, and they haven't had this available this year. I'm looking at a Keepa
but
chart.
if you can find another seller that's brand doesn't matter as far as the brand name, because obviously it's a knockoff, as you can see by that right there. But there's many other brands that make them. It's all about the lighting. That lighting, though, like I said, those panels are about what?
No, they're pretty big. They're pretty big. I don't know.
Go to a different picture.
They're pretty decent size. That'll give you an idea.
See the lady standing there with the camera? It's more on that size scale.
So, and then I have this overhead. So this is a Aperture 60D, and I have it mounted on the wall, and I have it kind of hanging above the area, and I can adjust it and move it around. You're gonna spend a good solid $300 on a really good lighting set for the most part.
Yeah, and like B Nudes was saying, you can also use those whiteboards that you buy at the Dollar Tree for like school projects. You could use those as well. I mean, they're not going to last as long. However, they are just as useful, and they're so cheap you could just buy multiples.
Yeah, everyone thought there was some acid stuff going on, and that the monitors were going crazy. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. But when do I ever know what's going on?
You never know.
Basket says, but you can, or at least used to be able to send private coupon to like one buyer. Mm-hmm. You could send private coupons. I'm not an advocate of private coupons. I think private coupons do better if you sell within a niche. And I've tried this where I printed out, actually got the little stickers that were the thermal stickers. I had a 250 sticker roll, and I ran it through, at the time, my Rollo, and it printed them all out. Every time we had a package, I'd put it on there. It said, thank you. Here's a promotional code to use on your next order. And it was never used. Nobody ever used it.
Nope.
Samantha says, John Jenner, with the spring here, summer coming soon, what kind of sourcing you think you do? Yard sales? Yeah. We had, I attempted to go to a couple of yard sales on Saturday morning. And I was not having a very good run of it. And I'm like, you know what? I've got a ton of stuff sitting in my garage right now that needs to get listed. Go home and just do that. So I'll be getting my yard sale stuff going. But when you have really good stuff to list, it's really hard to just settle for what's out there. Yeah. I mean, I hate to say that, but it's kind of what it feels like. Right now, I'm just dealing with a lot of good stuff that I'm finding. Chai says, I heard that on CNBC that toys, clothing, and other China-made items will be tough to find later this year. with the pause in imports. Should we all go out and clear the shelves now? I don't want to give financial advice to you.
Yeah.
But
it's not a bad idea.
My storage unit is getting very, very full. I've got to get, in fact, this week I want to go and get a couple more pallets, and just when that day comes, I don't want to be the seller that's like, what do? I can't. I think it's one of the most one of the things we take for granted as resellers is our ability to find more stuff. Mm-hmm. So people like James has like what?
He has so much
2, 3, 4,
stuff.
5 storage units full of stuff.
Yeah.
It's not going to hurt him at all. He's going to stay in business while everyone else is going to be like, I ain't paying triple or whatever it is for the same thing that I'm buying. Now, if you're sourcing at yard sales, I think that prices aren't going to change all that much. I think even on eBay, we're going to be the last ones to raise our prices, I think.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lull in products that come in from other countries. I think, in my own opinion, that if you're going to go school clothes shopping or school supply shopping, you may want to do that sooner than later. But I also think that even though we're going to go through kind of like a dry shelf period, just because right now, like a lot of things that we buy, unfortunately, come from China. And a lot of those ships are sitting in the China waters or in the waters.
Well, I heard that. I saw a video where they're saying that some of these containers are being sent empty, and or being turned around.
Yes. So I just think, but in the long run, so let's say next year, I think it's going to benefit us in the long run because of the fact that people are going to start to they're going to be looking for certain things and certain items, and they can get them cheaper on eBay because we can sell them open box or pre-owned in great condition. They're going to start looking for other places to buy online that are going to be where it's available and it's cheaper.
And then you guys have the question of, how do I get better lighting? Get it now. Mm-hmm. Get it now while you can. I went and got my TV for the garage upgraded. Been looking at anything that if I need it, I'm going to get it now because it's going to be more expensive. I just feel it like it is. It's supply and demand. What are you laughing at? Mike says, just want to let everyone know that Todd is a good-looking MSN.
Yes, he is.
What's MSN?
I don't know what MSN is, but he is a very good he is good-looking.
MSN, man seen naked. What does MSN mean? Mike, what's going on?
Mike.
Just want to let everyone know that Todd is a good-looking man seen naked, hand and all, and very nice. We determined that he is younger than me and looks it.
He is a very handsome man. Very handsome. And I've told you guys that before you saw him.
I think he meant to say man. But, yeah.
Are you getting a text?
I don't know. Samantha says, also, are you meeting up with any of the resellers this summer season? Probably not.
That would be fun, but we don't have... Right now, our life is kind of on hold.
I'd love to do it.
I would really love to be able to
meetup.
go on a vacation, go on a trip, do something, get out of this place, and have it not family related, or it could be potentially reseller related. But I would just like for John and I to go on a trip together and have. We need it.
Maybe do an FAE meetup somewhere.
That would be fun.
I don't
but
know.
where would we do that?
I don't know.
I would love to drive to another state to do that.
Yeah. Anissa says, I always knew I was redheaded.
Stepchild. What the heck?
Basket Noodle says, grifter equals worm testicle.
Yeah,
Something like that.
Pretty much.
It's just sad. Okay, let me just say this, and I won't say any more on this subject.
Oh my God.
If you are a successful business person, why would you waste your time making videos about how bad other people are and what they're doing? Last time I checked, Successful business people don't do that.
Yeah.
Keith says weather's been here today, starting
Been
to look
hot.
been hot here today. Been look like an Italian now, but I was also hot working inside the unit, like working in an oven, brown on one side, then turned over. But you know what though?
Picture that. I can totally picture him doing this.
But 80 degrees is like a heat wave for you guys out in the UK.
That's nothing compared to here.
Chai says Auction Professor has a 1.67 sell-through rate on eBay with 48,000 items listed, and doesn't give a because he makes bank on. I know what it means. He makes bank on YouTube and sells $70,000 K worth of buttons.
70,000.
Okay, so the volume game doesn't mesh well with sell-through rate usually. So if you're selling high volume, your sell-through rate is not very important to you. It's more of like, I keep using James, but he's the only one that comes to my mind when it comes to selling in volume. So he'll put out his numbers like, I sold 60 today between two stores, 50 to the next day, 60 the next day after that. It isn't a focus on sell-through rate or conversion rate or anything like that. It's just simply a focus on how many sales can I get every day. And that's, I think, probably what 48,000 items is probably selling a good 40 to 50 items a day, which is not anything to sneeze at. Now, I can tell you, Chai, that there's a misconception. What people make on YouTube, now he has 100,000 subs, but if you go to a site called Social Blade, and I kind of figured out a formula. You go to Social Blade and you type in the channel, the name of the channel, so in this case, Auction Professor, and boy, there's some weird channel names here. Why isn't it coming up? It's not coming up for me. So if you type in, like, say, Auction Professor, let's try it one last time. It ain't coming up. Well, you then take, I don't know. There's tons of creators here, but you go into their money, the revenue here, and you multiply it by like 4 or 5. And so this particular creator is making a few million.
God damn.
Yeah, 6.4 million subs. I don't know who they are. It's not allowing me to pull up Auction Professor.
China couple.
I don't know where they're from. It's not coming up for me. So, nonetheless,
Why isn't it coming up?
I don't know.
Weird.
It used to come up a lot, but you could put my channel in, and it's usually multiply 4 to 5 times what they say, and that's kind of what you make in a month. So I can tell you, yeah, he might be making like 4,000 or 5,000 in a month if I had to guess based on other similar channels that I've seen. But to be honest with you, it's all about views. So I don't think he's making even that thinking about it, because he doesn't put out a lot of content like other creators, like Rockstar Flipper does, like daily
Doesn't he
videos.
have a Patreon?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Paul Rose says, "Oh, come on, John. Everyone needs to go buy a course from Mr. Pegasus, and then they're done there. When they're done there, I have some magic beans for sale." Yeah. Well, maybe he's selling us winged horses. Maybe that's what he's promising.
He lives in his own fairy tale.
You need gifts, says he was throwing Tech under the bus, and he was the number 1 seller worldwide.
Yeah.
Well, Tech was the number 1 seller of men's clothing for a period of time.
Yeah.
And he was then questioning, which he had some valid questions, but at the same time, who are you to question anything if you haven't listed an item and sold an item on eBay? It's sort of like the whole story that we talked about that Jamie Iannone, they found a remote in their garage, and the wife wanted to throw that remote control out, and he's like, no, we'll sell it on eBay. And he was like, I got $30 for it. Dude, you ain't wasting your time, multi-million-dollar man. And the same goes for someone and that's kind of a grift, right? It's the CEO trying to say, if I can do it, anyone can do it, right? Which I think that story's bogus, but maybe not. Maybe someone told them that you need to get your ass out there and list something and see how the site works.
Anyways.
Chai, magic beans make your farts magical. You need. Tech is great to learn from. Forget Pegasus.
Very true.
Keith says, now, Paul, no bringing Jack and the Beanstalk into it. And right, Average Card Collector says there's an audience for drama in YouTube videos. I mean,
Sadly.
I'll put a video out that'll say, I quit. Or I'll put on the thumbnail. People I think, oh, damn, John's quitting. Let's see what's causing this. And it's like, yeah, I'm not using this method anymore. I'm done with it. And people are like, oh, that's clickbait. Well, it's true. I didn't say what I was quitting. But yeah, they want drama. They want the negativity. Mike G says, I don't know. I subscribed to Pegasus' course, and that's the reason why my sales are terrific. I don't know if that's true. I think you're pulling my leg.
I think you're...
Basket Noodle. Me thinks him as emotional disturbances, and him speaks to stuffed green eggs begging them's hatch.
I agree 1,000%, B-Nudes.
And we got Pete.
Pete!
Pete's here with us.
What?
The GOAT himself.
If he's still here.
Yeah, I'm sure he is. He told me he was a fan of the channel. That was the coolest thing anyone's ever told me. But he says, don't overthink this game. Buy good shit, list, rinse, and repeat. That's it.
Period.
That's it. And this is coming from somebody who kills it on eBay and has a brick and mortar. And I got to tell you, there's not a whole lot of people pulling off the brick and mortar scene. So he's making it work. But nice to see you, Pete, and hanging in there. And not only hanging in there with us, but contributing to the conversation. I appreciate that. Chai says, everyone has a different way of reselling, and it's good to learn from others that are willing to teach both good and mistakes.
Yes.
I screw up all the time.
Yeah.
I make stupid mistakes. I make stupid decisions. But the key is, are you going to then learn from that? So the next time that situation comes up, how are you going to handle it? Derek says, I have reported a few Pegasus videos on YouTube that I blocked his channel and videos from popping up on my feed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say we don't say the name of the channel.
That's why I call it Donkey Bar.
So that it won't come up in our stuff.
Chai Charon says, Pete, that's 1968 steam engine toy was badass. I have to come to the shop and check it out in person. It's so cool. I am going to make my way one day out to visit Pete. And he won't even know it's me. I'll
Yes,
just say
he
that.
will.
He will not know it's me.
He will know.
He will not have any idea.
He will know.
Larry Todd says, a hug, good, because my big belly is soft.
Stop it.
Basket Noodle says, we're all adults here except those of us over 60 now, having embarked on our journey back to what once was. Man, you just got to put those poet lyrics into a book.
I think he does it on purpose.
He does. Keith says, you have those eBay, then go on YouTube and end up being a YouTuber talking about eBay instead of selling on eBay. Then you have those that do both and keep it real.
Yes.
Yeah, and you have those who sell on eBay so that they can be relevant on YouTube. And if they stop selling on eBay, because it's really like those that go to flea markets and stuff, they make these videos so that they can say they're a reseller, but they're really making money as a YouTuber. And there's a period of time where you transition from I'm mainly a reseller who makes videos to a YouTuber who happens to resell. I don't see myself ever doing that. I just don't. But I will always keep it real with you guys when that day comes, if that ever does. Coppercat, hello John, Jenna, and FAE family. Getting here a little late. We'll be replaying tonight when I'm photographing. Today has been a crazy day, but not in a good way. I'm sorry to hear that.
I'm sorry. I hope it gets better. Tomorrow's a new day. You get to start fresh, and I hope that's what happens.
Point. Todd says Canada does elections in April because they're frozen until now. That's a good point. That's a good point. Keith says Spain and some other places have a total blackout and expected to take 5 days to get power back on. That's horrible. That is absolutely horrible.
How does that even happen?
They all collectively failed to pay their bill. They say it's some kind of a solar event or something. Is that what they said?
Who?
I don't know. don't get your European news from me because I can't help you. Beamy says we get a lot of lowball offers from other resellers, and you're not the only ones.
Yeah.
But I really think that even lowballers, there's a small percentage of people that will are reasonable, and maybe I don't blame them for trying. If you go to a yard sale and say, "I'll give you $2 for this," and they only want 10, do they tell you to go away from their yard sale? They may look at you kind of funny, but if they say no, but I can do 6. I mean, now you have an option as a buyer. Is it worth it for me to buy it at 6? I think if you send them away, you're never going to know if 6 is going to be possible. TikTok says, yes, resellers will lowball all the time.
Hello, TikTok. And France and Portugal is
What?
also a blackout.
I don't know. I gotta check out Lookner and see if he's talking about it. Agenda-free TV is what we watch when
Big
there's something going on.
Dre.
Big Dre says, yes, it's a niche store. I'll show you on your live members only once I have a true 90-day total. So yeah, let us check that out. I think you'd do well with a private coupon, and I think maybe you can even build a buyer base by doing like a monthly newsletter to those who are interested. Yes, and it's Portugal and Spain, I thought. Bear says, John, shipping from Japan on this item will be $45. I sent him $140. That's the lowest. There you go. And all you got to do is, explain your position. Someone who does this really well, if you watch Pete's, and it comes to my mind because Pete's watching us, someone will come to his shop and say, I've got this thing. And Pete will say, he's never the first one to say, okay, I'll give you $50 for it. He'll say, what are you trying to get out of it? And then they'll say, oh, I'm trying to get 75. And he doesn't send him out of the shop. He'll say, no, I'm not interested, we're too far apart, or I don't want to insult you, but I'm at 30, or whatever. And how many times does he get a deal done? I'd say that he's someone to go and watch the skill set. So it's allowing them to make the first offer. Fine, they're showing us their cards. They're saying they want to give us that $1 for that $10 item. So we've seen where they're at. Now we might feel like we want 8 and we're too far apart, but you'll never know unless you engage in that conversation and explain. And he'll explain why I can't come down that I can't meet your price at 75. I have to be at 30 because the market. And he'll even show eBay, like, look, I can't. This is what it's selling for, and I need to make money. So if you're dealing with a reasonable person, they really want the item, and they're not just BSing you, they will come down to you. Now, how many? I'd say it's like 10% of the time. And of course, my friend that knows that I'm always doing live. You want, you need says our government hasn't worked sat in Parliament since September 17th. So 4 months, no work has been done because of just.
Did you just say September?
December.
December.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Swear I heard you say.
I might have said September, but I meant December. Todd says district getting watered down. Yes, I think there's just too many. You got Pete's got his now. Pete's got his more focused into antiques and stuff. He has one focused marketplace, but then you have the dib this, dib that, dib over here, dib over there. They have like 5 different things that they're doing. There's just too many going on. I just can't see.
I just want to know. I just want to slap the person that made up dibbed it.
Well, that is
what's
Kevin's.
the point?
That is Kevin's.
I want to know
baby.
what it means, Kevin. What does dibbed it?
Dibbed it.
Dibbed it. What does that mean?
Like a trinket, I think, if I had to guess. Chai says, what do you guys think about China exposing top global luxury brands made in China? I mean, if they can make a $2,000 iPhone, why can't they make a $20,000 purse? So I think what those videos aren't telling you, I read an article on this, that the labor, they use slave labor in China. Okay, they use slave labor in China. Now, these other bags that are made in Europe, they don't use slave labor. So they got to pay the cost of labor. Yes, China can take the same materials and make that bag a lot cheaper, and they're not throwing the expensive tag on there. That's part of it. I don't know. I think it's a crappy thing to do. They're only doing it now because they're trying to sell a lot of their stuff that's they can go in with all the supplies and all the materials they have. Sure, they're trying to kill that business, but I don't really know what I make of it, but it's for some an eye-opener, I guess. Average Card Collector says Surfs Up Finds has a video for lighting, pictures, etc. on YouTube. There you go. Mm-hmm. So go check that out. Todd says, just want to say, Ray and his crew did a wonderful job putting on the Nashville Reseller meetup.
It looked really good.
Yeah.
It looked very nicely put together, and it looked like everybody was having a great time. I was really upset about not being
Well, we're going to try to do a little bit more next year. Larry Way Out says, Todd, I agree. It's a great time. I enjoyed our talks over the weekend.
Hello, Larry.
Nice
I
to see
saw
Larry.
you on the videos.
Craig says, for taking pictures, a phone camera does fine. What matters most is lighting. And I agree with that. I use my iPhone, and I simply like to get in here and adjust my camera settings. So within the camera settings, you can adjust the exposure. I think sometimes adjusting the exposure from one item type, like for instance, you have something that's all white on a white background, you can maybe adjust the exposure a little bit to kind of darken it a little bit, especially if you're using a background removal, or actually lighten it. But a dark item like a black with a lot of lighting will get kind of washed out. So you decrease the exposure and darken up the image, and that also helps. So just playing around with the settings also can help. And I'm talking going from who wants a washed out looking item. It's like the light is so intense on it that it's washed out. But if you change that through your phone or whatever app you're using, that can help. Mm-hmm. Duncan says, not first, what's happening? John and Jenna still seeing buyers not taking the expensive items, but taking the cheaper stuff. Mm-hmm. It's a mix of both for me. We have a lot of large ticket items. I have like 3 different items over $300 that they're still kind of sitting there that I keep lowering the prices a little bit at a time. Eventually it'll sell.
Wait, what did Rhonda say?
When I get a stupidly low offer, I no longer decline. I respond by saying, must have been a typo error as your offer is percentage lower than the listing price. How about this one? Now, this one's a marketplace one where the guy had it. I don't know the exact amount. Let's just say the guy had it for 150 and the guy offered, I'll give you 50. I know the numbers are wrong, but I'll just use this as an example. I'll give you 50. I'll buy it right now. He's like, okay, here's my address. And so the guy, like an hour later, messages him and says, what the hell? Why did you send me to a mental institution for? It's like, wow.
Didn't I send that to you? That
was on the someone posted it on the Discord.
Oh.
Someone posted on the Discord. I'm sure the dollar amounts are different, but it's the same premise. Like, you're crazy for offering me 50 on that. Yeah. I got an offer. $30 on a. Oh, and see, this is what I'm saying.
What?
They offered me $30. It's $139.99.
Wow.
So.
Get the
now that is your first thought. That's your first thought.
Yeah.
But it cannot be your first response.
Yeah.
So I will then come back. Now I just listed this last week. I'll come back and say I can't go that low, but I can give it to you for 110. And here's why. And they will not respond. They will not respond.
Nobody ever responds.
But I'm going to make the effort anyway because you never know. You want you need says, and maybe someone's watching this live thinking that they're going to get me to to see how I respond. I don't know. We get that all the time. I'm just going to come back and offer like 110, and that's the lowest I'll go. You want you need says, a nice thank you too for the lighting help. I just wrote all this down, and we'll see if I can find something similar. If not, these lights. Yeah. There you go. Paul is talking to Larry Todd, so I'll move on. Keith says, hey, John, I have had some good feedback from buyers about the labels I stick on outside of parcels with people saying that they really liked it. Never seen a seller doing that, but a nice touch. Oh, it's a nice touch.
Yeah.
If you're selling in a niche, I think it's a great touch.
Yes.
It's a nice touch that has no that really doesn't do anything for you if you're an everything seller. So I bought this thing, and wow, I really like them. They're great, and I need more. I don't have any more of these, so I have you return back to my store because I'm an everything seller. You're going to be disappointed. Basket Noodle says, ports are already slowing. I found who I grew up with who's cross-country port trucker. Dre uses coupons when he gets a cancellation, return, or repeat buyer in hopes of salvaging a sale and making more sales. Yeah. Being proactive, I think, is big as a reseller. Samantha's got a question. I was given an old-time box TV. Any ideas how to sell it or start parting it out? Like the CRT TV, I don't think there's any demand, unfortunately. CRT TV
That might
parts?
be like a Facebook Marketplace thing.
Okay, so if we're looking at, I did a search on this, and here are your sellers that are currently selling these old TV. I'm sure this is the type of TV you're talking about. Now, I typed in CRT TV parts. I don't see any parts
How
here.
do you know it's a CRT? She didn't say that.
Because I'm just guessing that's
You're
the old time.
assuming.
Yes. And that's
know
all I
what
can do.
that
So
does?
half the time I can assume. Now, here are your solds. So it's all about just looking it up. Maybe the model number would be helpful. Would be
Does
very
it
helpful.
work?
And it could be one of those projection TV. It could be a projection TV, but then I don't know. I just don't see. I don't see.
TV.
Yeah, but that's more CRT then. And so we're looking at these. I don't see parts. I see TVs that are parts only, but I don't see any listings that are sold with parts. And I ask specifically for parts. So parting these out, probably not going to draw much interest.
Yeah, I would just test it and either, depending on what your research finds.
Duncan says, need a trip, just drive somewhere a few hours away and stay for a few days in a classy
That's
hotel.
what I need. I just want to get away. I want to be in nature, like quiet.
We can go back to Yosemite and have that adventure again. Samantha says, hit the thumbs up. I almost forgot.
Oh,
yes.
don't
Gotta
forget.
hit the thumbs up.
Hit the thumbs up and you get a sale within 24 hours of hitting the button.
Midwest Picker says, some YouTubers will do anything for attention. There's an old saying that there's no such thing as bad publicity. Y'all are good people. If anything, maybe you will gain some subs from it. You know, anyone who... I'm sure there's a number of viewers on this person's channel that will believe everything this guy is saying. And if it's putting that person that he's talking about in a bad light, it's defamatory. It's not right. I just have a problem with it.
Wait,
Kelly,
go back, go.
what? Kelly says, AP makes enough off of Patreon subs that he doesn't have to rely on eBay.
Okay, yeah, that's what...
But, you know, again, why is he talking about eBay then? If he has no...
he's saying that's Auction Professor.
Oh, okay. I was thinking that was the other guy. Okay.
No.
Yeah.
No, Duncan, I don't drink alcohol. I am a recovering alcoholic.
The sound went like John a mile away talking. Really?
Oh.
Hopefully you guys can hear us okay.
Was that when you did the...
I don't know.
TV?
Mike says, gonna get in touch with you about the FAE meetup. Oh, I forgot. We gotta get Mike involved to...
Well, of course we do.
Yeah. FAE meetup.
Ooh, what are we gonna do?
Oh, no.
We need Mary as well. Mary needs to be in on this too.
Duncan says, John, your channel's making $2 million in revenue. Damn it, must be all those FEA memberships.
2 million in revenue, my ass.
That's right.
There are a lot of things that would be different.
Biff says, I sell 900 to 1,200 items per month on 40,000 items listed. Not a good sell-through. It's easy to look at those numbers and assume you know the entire story if you simply juxtapose it against other models. Right.
Yeah.
So the only stat that matters, and I've talked about this before, is how much are you making every week? Or how much is your daily deposit if you do daily deposits? If you see a huge decline in that number, then you know that something's wrong. It doesn't matter what your conversion rate is. Doesn't matter if you have 50,000 items in your store and only sell 50 a day or 40 a day. That might seem, if you do the math, like very low sell-through rate, but it's paying your your bills or whatever.
Oh, that's why it didn't come up. You have to add the auction professor.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Craig.
Never mind. I just looked him up on Social Blade. It says 540 to 8.6K annual. Nobody must want to do ads on his education vids. So, annually he may make like $30,000 to $40,000. I can tell you we make about 10 on YouTube through AdSense revenue. Devon says, I would like to see those YouTuber sales for real. Show me your sales. Mm-hmm. Yep. Auction Professor is the channel name. Yeah, I was putting Auction Professor in there. Yeah, that's why. Yes. Duncan says, brick and mortar business is hard. Miss D runs a shop. The biggest problem is the staff. The cost is incredible.
Oh, I didn't know you guys had a brick and mortar. That's tough.
Yeah, it is. How would it go for you if you didn't have the brick and mortar and the overhead? Anissa says, don't know what I sold, but got my thumbs up. Cha-ching. Thanks, guys. Awesome.
Yay. I think something happened. You're all over.
I'm not all over the place. I'm doing the best that I can. Thank you very much. Tech is a good salesperson, meaning selling you on his channel. I think there's something to that, but he does have a good message, but I think there's something to that. He's getting a lot of people watching, so it's working.
Devon had to
John
leave.
is P the same clown that was harassing Josh? No, that's a different clown.
That's
Samantha, what I don't understand is if the buy it now is slow, how does the auction on eBay isn't producing minimum cash flow? I don't know about...
Clarify your question.
I don't know a whole lot about auctions right now. I haven't done an auction in years.
Yeah.
Christopher says, now sound is fine. Had to click out, back in. That's really weird. Really, really weird. Dibbed it? It's just dibbed it. Dib, D-I-B-D-I-T is what it is. Yeah. Maybe you got dibs on it?
So you got dibs on it. So I dibbed. I got my hands on it. It's just, it does not roll off the tongue very easy. And so therefore I can't like it.
So slave labor as in Uyghurs. I don't know the spelling on that, but that is, you got to look into it. It's
not
very,
quite
very bad.
like the whips, chains, and not like P. Diddy. Not that kind of labor. Totally different. What are you doing?
I'm just trying to see. I don't know this. It's Uighur.
UI.
Yeah, those are the folks there. So Human Rights China, Uyghur exploitation slammed as modern day slavery. Yeah. Anissa says, but I hate it honestly. No shade, but I don't like it because it's not easy to say.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly why I dislike it. Is because I personally cannot let it. It does not roll off my, native Californian tongue.
See, there's the explanation right there. And then Flip It Good says, ADH Dave made Dibbed It name.
Of course he did. That explains it all.
Yeah. Basket goes, Americans can compete against any workers in the world. P.S. as long as it is on our terms. Mike G says it was $400 offer for a $1,500 item. Guy
What?
then said he only has $380. Yeah, and then
No.
here's the address,
Yeah.
and he shows up at the crazy house. Chai says SpongeBob CRT looks like a bolo. $150 if you like shipping heavy breakable items.
Yeah, you would have to bubble the living daylights out of it.
Yeah. Basket says plug it in. Let's see if we can get the lights to go out in France.
Oh no.
And Keith says no TV parts for old CRT TV is not common. Better to sell while TV as parts.
Yeah.
Whole TV as parts. Yeah. And then Samantha says John, this television has the tubes in it, but it looks like the shipping is going to be a pain. I'm not on Facebook or Instagram. I was never a fan. Local pickup, maybe.
She doesn't do that.
I mean, I know you don't do the Facebook, but you can do eBay local pickup. I mean, I don't know.
And you're gonna want to do calculated shipping. Don't think that you have to eat that.
Yeah, it's popular
If
with
somebody
gamers.
wants it, they're gonna pay for shipping. Promise you.
Keith says, Samantha, I will sell an old CRT TV as a whole thing. If it don't work, just list as parts not working.
Yeah.
Still get good money, but add the postage, add your shipping to it,
Yes.
right? Sutter's Mill says ChatGPT is now offering shopping assistance. It is another way buyers can find what we're selling on eBay. Interesting. I'm going to check that out. So Samantha's presently recycling and South Carolina, I believe. With the eBay auction, that should always produce a slower revenue of cash. Yeah, I think you're going to make less on eBay auctions. You're relying on multiple people to want your item and want it enough that they're willing to bid it up. Just price it so the one person that finds your item acceptable is your buy it now price. I'd go with that model. The Dibdit Golf Guy, as a solopreneur, I can say firsthand it is really fun to have a brick and mortar running in conjunction with the robust e-commerce operation. Besides sourcing, listing, inventory control is the hard part. So
Yeah,
I can see.
I will leave that to you. I do not want ever.
Well,
brick and
look at the
mortar.
business models. Going back to Pete, and I'm sure that if the Dibdit Golf Guy is talking about a brick and mortar, it has to be similar in that you don't even have to go out and source. You got people that know you'll buy their stuff. They'll come and bring it to you. I mean, to me, I was thinking about doing sporting goods as a second store, but I have no way to get that stuff. I mean, I can go to yard sales, but I don't have a dedicated
There's no
supplier.
supplier.
So if you have a setup where people can bring the stuff to you, and you can do pretty well.
Yeah, I have no desire to have a brick and mortar of any kind.
Bear says, John, it called deep shit. Landshark Picker says, don't forget the new Tiquity. Tiquity.
What the
So this is too many. There's too many going on. Samantha's a true fan of England.
What is that?
And Keith says, Samantha, noon, it's cold and wet and windy most of the year.
Oh.
Yeah, well, our weather's starting to get
Our weather is
hot.
very
It's hotter
bizarre
now. Yeah.
right now.
Cold
It's-
and hot, but it'll
Yeah.
get hot here pretty soon. Well, guys, we're
You missed a
solid.
bunch.
No, there's a lot of side talk. Baskerville has a feral cat. We're feeding
Oh, you
that's
have a
named
new
Fidel
feral cat.
Castro.
Fidel Castro.
Catstro.
Catstro.
Oh, wow. Well, I want to thank you guys for being here with us. Another solid 2-hour live stream. We had a good, fun time. And I'm thankful that my sales are back on track. But I often wonder when I don't get in front of things, when I am not in tune with how sales should be, if I miss out on these opportunities, such as doing a nuclear reset. And don't be afraid of doing a nuclear reset when you feel like, you know what, I've done everything. I've priced my items properly. I've got good stuff for sale, good photos and everything else. And yet I'm not getting the sales that I just had, say, last week. Well, there could be something wrong. And doing a nuclear reset, if you're not getting any sales, I mean, you ain't going to lose any more sales than you're already getting, right? So don't be afraid to try it. Be very careful with it so you're not ending and deleting your ended items. There's a process to it. I think I have a video somewhere about it. But the nuclear reset is just another tool you can use to get out in front of these things that happen. We talk about all these glitches that eBay has. Who knows? There might be a glitch involving your very items. But figuring it all out and staying in front of it is yet another example of how flipping ain't easy.
Have a great week.
Yep.
We love you. Take care, guys.
See you guys.
Chargeback returns and lowball offers too. Zero takedowns, they're paying. What can we do? High selling fees, bad buys, and rude buyers galore. Flipping ain't easy, but we keep coming back for more. All resellers are gonna make mistakes. Learn from them and you'll have what it takes. In the world of reselling, we're your guide. Shorts and gray items is the key to success. Subscribe to the channel and stand above the rest. Focus on the things that are within your control. Hang with Flip, it ain't easy. Let's roll. Catch the live streams on Mondays and Fridays. Join the Discord community for the parlays. Tune into the podcast, Profit Playbook's the name. With Scott and Josh, flipping's more than a game. All resellers are gonna make mistakes. Learn from them and you'll have what it takes. In the world of reselling, we're your guide. If flipping ain't easy, by your side. Catch the live streams on Mondays and Fridays. Join the Discord community for the parlays. Tune into the podcast, Profit Playbook's the name. With Scott and Josh, flipping's more than a game. All resellers are gonna